So Aviva is one of the largest pension providers in the UK, and hundreds if not thousands of expats have transferred their pensions across as they've moved abroad. Now, firstly, you need to understand how your Aviva pension will work as a non-UK resident. So Aviva typically operates various lifestyle fund ranges depending on your age. So if you're younger, it's probably more adventurous, and as you become older, it will move into a more cautious portfolio. So the first step is to ask Aviva what benefits you can expect to receive as a non-UK resident. Because unless you hold a legacy plan, i.e. a plan predating a certain time frame, it's very likely that they will not be able to offer you full flexible access drawdown in retirement, which is something that's really important to secure your retirement abroad. So before transferring your Aviva pension, there are a few questions we would encourage all clients to ask. The first is, where are my funds invested? And do I still have control to change those investments? And do I have access to a wide range of investment choices? So ideally in a pension, and especially as you move abroad, you want to be able to invest in anything that you need to invest in, whether it's funds from Vanguard, BlackRock, Fidelity, etc. You want to have an unrestricted and wide range of investment choice because it will help you get the investment growth you need and also reduce the volatility in certain circumstances. Another question to ask Aviva is whether or not you can hold multi-currency investments. So if, for example, you're retiring abroad, whether it's in the US or the EU, you're looking at different currencies. And having the vast majority of your retirement money, of which pensions typically are, invested in a foreign currency, such as sterling, which has been fairly volatile over the last few years due to Brexit and everything else going on, it can cause certain currency issues and expose you to currency risk over the long term. So, for example, if you're retiring in Europe and the value of the sterling falls dramatically, that might impact your standard of living. So that's why we say it's really important that you have multi-currency options so you can hedge against that risk over the long term. The final question, which we've already covered, is obviously having the ability to draw down your money as and when you please. Now, in most scenarios, you will no longer have the option to do this as an expat. So it's really important you clarify with Aviva, can I take my money when I want, as I want? In all honesty, the answer they'll probably give you is that you can only take an annuity, you can take the whole thing as a lump sum, which will probably cause a huge tax bill in your country of residence, or they'll encourage you to transfer your pension to a flexible provider and a provider that can give you the benefits you need as an expat, such as an international SIP or an offshore SIP, for example, or even a QROPS in certain scenarios. So these are the key questions you need to be asking them to make sure that your retirement abroad isn't compromised by having a UK-based pension provider that's built for UK residents. So in terms of the process, the first thing to do would be to get a statement from Aviva. So get your latest statement. Most of the time you can get that online. If not, you can request it from them. So by having that statement, you can see what you're invested in, what the value is, and what your drawdown options are as an expat. If you then wish to transfer, we'd encourage all clients to speak to a regulated financial advisor who's regulated where that client lives. So for example, if you live in France, you need someone who's regulated in Europe. If you live in the US, you need an SEC regulated advisor. Once you've found your advisor, have a chat with them, have a discussion, tell them what you want to do. They'll then hopefully put a plan in place to make sure that your pension works for you as you live abroad. In terms of the transfer process, typically you're looking at between 1 and 3 months to complete the pension transfer. Aviva will sell down the funds, they'll transfer the funds to the new pension provider, and your advisor, working in conjunction with your advisor, the funds will then be reinvested as per your attitude to risk and as per what you're looking to achieve in your international retirement. In terms of the best option for transferring away from your Aviva pension, there are 2 key options depending on where you live. The first is an international SIP or a non-resident SIP. The second is a QROPS. Now, in the vast majority of cases, the international SIP is going to be your best option here. It's more highly regulated, it's lower cost, it gives you all the investment choice that you need, and it can pay you into any bank account in the world once you want to take benefits. However, some investors may prefer detaching their pension from the UK entirely, in which case you may consider a QROPS with your financial advisor. But it's important to note that these schemes are typically based out of Malta. There's less regulation, there's less protection, and also they tend to cost a lot more than an international SIP. But these are conversations you can have with your financial advisor after they've understood what your objectives are and what's important to you.